Welcome to the behind the scenes of how this Excel sheet is actually working. Now, to start off, you may need the Developer tab. And to do that, you go to File, go to Customize Ribbon, and there you'll see the option for the Developer tab. Once that is added in, you'll be able to go and view the macros that were in there. Now here, the one called Email Me, that is actually specifically for the Union one. Each of the tabs has a different macro for sending the email for the service record. I did that because for each of the different tabs we wanted a different subject line. Each one is an identical macro. The only difference is the subject line that each of them have. So Email Me is the Union one, Hermiston and Keene, the rest are named after the tab that they're supposed to do. And you can see a bit how they work if you go to Edit, Debug, and Step Into. And it will go step by step through each one. As you step through them, you'll see there that's where all the variables are defined. It starts out by saying if the row that they have selected is number 1, or this row here, then we don't want it to do anything, because those are our headings, and we don't want that to be messed with. Otherwise, it'll keep going. It says if it's number 2, if it's row 2, that's where our custom one is, and that will only pop up. It'll do the same thing, only it'll also pop up with asking what the machine description is. Then otherwise, it asks the questions through the input boxes and saves that as these different variables. And it says it offsets, it copies the things and sends it to service needed and copies it there. And when it does that, it automatically puts a 1 in that column. Now the reason we don't usually see the 1, we only see the red X, I had the font be white. So it only pops up as a red X if there's a 1 there. And then the same macro says, okay, if there's a 1 in that column, meaning it's already been marked as service needed, then it will instead ask, is it working? Did you fix it? But anyway, the way that seeing if there are 2 works is actually in this cell right here in column L, which is usually hidden. But if you click on it and hit unhide, you'll see a long if statement there. And all it's saying is if the value that is found here is also found in this service needed column and in the service history column, then show up yellow. Or, that's why there are 3 if statements, if it is found twice in the service history. Save on it having to say, oh, is it there twice? Column Q has a function that will say, if it is listed twice, then put it here. So what that if statement is doing is searching both in the service needed, service history columns, and if they aren't found there twice, it'll look here, see if it's listed there, and if it is listed either there or there, it will pop up with this. And we'll go ahead and make that. It'll pop up with that. And this here is simply set for conditional formatting, that if that shows up there, it will be yellow. But all of that is hidden and in white ink, so no need to, that's all behind the scenes. The other thing that's hidden between I and K, unhide, is the time since PM. What is there is a formula saying if it's blank, then be blank. Otherwise, I want you to show the difference between today and whatever day is in this column. And so it'll show up with a number, and we did a conditional formatting here, and it's important that's in this order, saying that if the value is blank, it is white, that's first priority. If the value in that column, in time since PM, is greater than, in this one, it's 30, then be red, and so that's the biggest priority. So it's important that's in this order so that it works correctly. And that is reading this time since PM formula. But since that's hidden, to save on space, no need to have the information twice. We'll go ahead and demonstrate that there. See, it says time since PM there. Time since PM. But to save on space, we still need that there. So, because that's how the conditional formatting is working. But, review, it'll always be under protect sheet. The ones that people need to be able to use are the sort, auto filter, and edit objects, because that allows them to insert comments. And since a number of the macros insert comments, they won't be able to work unless that is allowed on each of them. And the only fields that people are allowed to work on, it says allow users to edit ranges, and we can take a look here, are these ones right here. We don't want them to be able to edit here, but since you're working behind the scenes, you can go ahead and edit and change those things there, because I trust you. To protect the sheet, those are the things that need to be clicked, and if you ever need to work on it, you click unprotect sheet. Service needed and service history tabs actually have all the same information as these other tabs, just the columns that we have hidden are different. Same goes with all clubs. All clubs is just referencing all the other ones. One of the most common problems we keep seeing pop up happens in the macros, and once it's fixed for one of the email macros, it works for all of them, is because of the uncompatible Excel programs, you will need to go to Tools and References. If it's popping up saying, hey, we're missing something, chances are this is the problem. We have here selected Microsoft Outlook 15.0 Object Library, but for the computers at Club 24, they don't have that. That'll be marked as missing. So you'll need to uncheck that, go down to Microsoft, it's listed alphabetically, go to Microsoft Outlook and select Outlook 12.0, and then it will be able to work like a charm. So one last thing, the way that the service history will automatically update itself is that we have marked column P saying that if the date in service date is greater than 90 days, or if you want to change that to a year, switch 90 to 365, then mark it with a 111111. I think that's the right number. And the macro will automatically go through, find if it has a 11111 in that column, and delete anything that has that. So that way anything in that time period older than a year will automatically get removed from the program, and it won't be marked as a duplicate. So the red flag will no longer pop up if it gets serviced twice but not within the time period. And those are the basic behind the scenes of what is going on in this Excel sheet. Thank you for your time.